Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Neuro-Heretical Wargaming, where the stupidity is not a bug. It is a feature. My name is Brennan, and today we are doing our weekly hobby stream. And if it's your first time with us, we're just hanging out and painting. Not doing anything particularly special this week, except to ask our question of the week. What is your favorite kind of ice cream? Oh, and also we're painting Castellan Creed. And appropriately, we are using Castellan Green to do so. Hey! Okay, I already got a couple of viewers. I am so good at this. Let's see. Is there any matching pants? Yeah, let's do matching pants. Yeah. For an army commander, Creed doesn't actually have that much like uniform on him. He is mostly armor. Should be smooth. Hey, Chaplain Thrain, I haven't seen you in a little bit. I hope you're doing good after your some of the issues I saw you had. I don't think I've seen you in a stream recently, so glad to see you. Alright, I think that'll do for now. I was going to look up how to for his coat, and I totally forgot to do so. I'll have to do that in a minute. Oh. Oh, is it down super low? Or am I just quiet? I can turn it up a little bit. Oh. Did I turn my mic down? I have no idea. Let me turn it up a little bit. Is that a little better? A little bit better. I think that's as high as I can get it to go. Every week is a new thing with OBS, let me tell you. just last week, I didn't seem to have any issues. If I did, no one told me I did. It's too low. Let me mess with it. Properties. Do I have a filter on? Maybe that's it. Do you have a noise suppression filter? Let's cut the noise suppression in half and see if that helps. that a bit better? If it's not, I'll see what I can do. In the meantime, keep working on old buddy old pal here. I do know I was messing with the mic a little bit earlier because I was doing some recording for something that hopefully you guys will see this weekend, though I can't promise anything quite yet. It is a project we've never done before, so we're not entirely sure how it's going to turn out. But thank you for everyone that's here. I apologize if the audio is kind of low. I only half know what I'm doing, and I'm not sure how I can make it literally any louder. Now it's not playing music. Is it? Okay. No? Ooh, music went way up. You know what? That's fair, Chapman Thrain. That's fair. That's fair. I have it all the way up though. Oh, let's see. Let's see if we can get some other people to hop in chat and maybe try and stress test this with some other people. I will also say that, unfortunately, I am kind of at the mercy of OBS right now, because at the mercy of OBS and at the mercy of the fact that I'm just using the mic built into my webcam for this one. So if it's not very good, that would be why, and I deeply apologize. But as of yet, there's not much I can do. But if you guys would like to see that improve, do be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because that does help us be able to expand our operations and get new stuff, so we can make better streams both here and on the weekends for all of y'all. Ooh, that's what I want. There we go. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Thrain. I kind of figured that, like, just stuff was going hectic for you, so we're definitely glad to hear from you. I can tell you that. I saw you on the Discord, and I was like, oh, hey. Been seconds we've seen him, so I was like, oh, good. I wanted to make sure, I wanted to know, well, it's nice to know you're good. That's what I'm trying to say. It is nice to know you're, at the very least, even if life sucks, you're still kicking. Believe you me, I know the feeling with life sucking. Also, let me know how the music sounds, and if it ever stops, let me know. So unfortunately, because I'm doing my webcam mic, if I try to use my if I try to play it over my speakers, my mic will pick it up, in which case it kind of defeats the purpose. Or you're gonna be like double hearing it, it's gonna sound terrible, and I don't want that on stream. But do green and that might be the move. But yeah, at some point I plan to get a actual non-crappy headset, preferably a wireless one that I can use for this. Yeah. Unfortunately, I know how that is, Chaplain Thrain. I'm sorry. I worked as an EMT for a little bit, and there was a lot of stories like that, and it's crappy. It honestly is. Like, we don't, not getting into anything, but people need a lot more support when they get out of the hospital than I think a lot of people realize, and that tends to cause it causes issues no matter what. Especially, like you said, you have to go to work because depending where you're at, not a lot of good, like, bosses are not the most understanding a lot of the times, unfortunately. And unfortunately, sometimes, some places, you need that so you can afford to go to the hospital. Do I want to do his coat as green? I kind of do. I think I will. I kind of do. Giving the green and the tan here. For anyone wondering, it is Castellan green. It's Andrew dust. Oop, there we go. Oop. It's giving a pretty good. Oh, excuse me. Oh, hello. He's gonna be new. But yeah, it's Andrew dust, Castellan green. Gives like a nice World War II vibe that I'm kind of digging, so I'll probably lean into that a bit more. Today, we are painting. Yeah, so this is actually the old Castellan Creed model. Let me see if I can get it to focus there. A little bit. There we go. The old Castellan Creed model before he got replaced by his daughter. I'd choose him as a proxy because he was cheaper on eBay. But since I already have it up, so I'll go ahead and talk about it. We are actually doing Guard versus Genestealer Cults this weekend, which means I have to get my Guard armor painted because I am providing all the miniatures because I'm a dum-dum and was like, oh, this is a great way for me to get my stuff painted. Also, if it sounds like something's trying to break into my door, I apologize. That would be my dog. They both have separation anxiety. So, you know, be ready for that. Or don't be surprised by that, I should say. Yeah, this is Castellan Creed, and he is very necessary because he makes the type of army I play with my Imperial Guard actually work. Because without him, my field ordnance batteries are not very good. I guess I could just swap him out for a Cadian Castellan because I'm only running 2 batteries instead of 3 right now. But by which I mean I'd still use his model, but in rule 2 bit, I don't know if I need those points though. I've already kind of finalized the list, so I probably shouldn't change it too much. And I will say, there is some danger in running Creed for that, because he does not have blown up. So if your enemy has literally any level of indirect, he will probably die. Luckily for me, my local meta has like no indirect. I'm like the only player who runs any significant portion of indirect. So it literally has not yet been a concern. Oh wow. I don't know if I could paint 10 hours a day, to be honest with you. I had Monday off and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna paint, get all that done, try and get like a head start on all this, get a good chunk of my Creed done. And then I didn't. I did not even remotely. I mean, if you're gonna do Tyranids, you gotta do it. You gotta like buckle down and get to it. So Silver Scratch Build Productions. Are you a YouTuber as well? I apologize if you're someone that's been on the stream before and I just don't remember. Distinct possibility happened before. But yeah, and if you can pull that off, absolutely more power to you. I would love to do like a Tyranid army at some point, but like with basically everything, that costs money. And since I'm already doing a guard army, I don't know if I want to do what is effectively the same army again. Man, that's pretty awesome that you get to paint 10 hours a day. Like, I don't know what your life situation is, but like I said, I don't think I could actually do it, but even just to have the opportunity, so would be pretty sweet. See if I can zoom in a little bit on for you guys. Oop. There we go. That's probably a bit better, right? See in focus. I think so. I think I can turn on autofocus as well. Continuous autofocus and see how that does. Ooh, we'll go up there. Sweet. Sick. Come on, you got kind of dark on my side here. Hey, we're on the TV. Oh yeah, for anyone else that's active in the chat, mostly you Silver Scratches, or Silver Scratch, I'll get that right eventually. How do I sound? Because I was coming up kind of quiet for Chaplain Thrain. I haven't touched anything since last week, so if something went wrong, I don't know what it might be. I don't know if it's just him or if it's everyone. I will say it is a bit weird. So like on the back end of YouTube, for anyone who doesn't know, on the off chance this is somehow your introduction to this channel, first off all, welcome. Secondly, for anyone that doesn't know, we stream Warhammer games every weekend, every Sunday, and then every once in a while we do Saturday one. So this weekend we had a Horus Heresy Saturday and a 40k Sunday. Then here in a couple weeks we will do a Fallout Wasteland Warfare Saturday followed by a 40k Saturday. I 100% forgot where I was going with that. Oh, that's where we're going. So obviously, like, I can look on, so my main job on the channel is I kind of handle the production side and like keep up to date on the YouTube stats, right? So I am checking the YouTube stats constantly. And one of the things it tells us, where it can, is where you guys are watching from. And it's kind of weird knowing some of you are watching us on your TV, to be somewhat honest. Because it's like, oh, I'm actually kind of on someone's TV right now. That's really weird to think about. Oh boy. My dog is being a little jerk. I'm pretty sure that's not the girl, that's the boy dog. And, oh, do let me know if the music stops. That happened last week. I apologize. I will put it back on if it does for whatever reason. Should I do his sleeves in a different color? Also, if the camera suddenly shakes, I apologize. It's my phone, so if it gets a notification, it's just like, oh hey. Like it's on a little mount, so the whole thing is gonna vibrate. Who's that? That is you. I knew it would be you. Alright. It's actually coming together pretty quickly. You just gonna need a few different layers of the Castellan green. I like how Castellan green looks. It pulls off olive drab really well. However, it goes on very thinly. And while I am a believer in two-thing coats, Augie, what you got there? Oop, come here, babe. Yeah, you better keep walking. You better keep walking. Dog comes in just to steal stuff out of the trash can, I swear. Yeah, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. Bannerlord is very nice. Or, I'd say Bannerlord very nice. Never played it. I've been looking at Bannerlord because I put a lot of hours into Warband back in the day. In particular, the like Viking DLC they did, and that was a lot of fun. It's also just one of those games where you kind of have to play it consistently, or else your skills just rapidly deteriorate. I noticed. I remember doing a few characters where I basically made all my money just doing the tournaments. Then like I tried to go back after a little bit of not playing them to going back to playing them and just getting my butt kicked repeatedly. Oh, okay. I'll take a little peek-see and see what you posted. Everyone who watches our streams paints better than we do. That's just like simple facts I've noticed from all of you. Ah, Dark Angels. Very nice. I have been really looking, like every once in a while I get tempted by Dark Angels. Right, like I am a Black Templar main for the most part. But every once in a while I'm like, maybe. So I have wanted to get a Lionel Johnson, the new 40k mini, and do him up in just like Leadbelcher as a knight errant. But that cost money. But it is on my list, and honestly, I think Lionel Johnson is probably my favorite Primarch after listening to Lion Son of the Forest, because that audiobook is just amazing. Like absolute 10 out of 10 audiobook. Like if you're gonna read just one book about like an actual Primarch, you have to go with Son of the Forest. You absolutely do. I don't know if it's like I wouldn't necessarily call my favorite 40k book. That might belong to Betrayer, or yeah, I think, but I would say Betrayer is my favorite book. Even though I don't play, ironically, I play neither of these armies, and they're some of my favorite books. Alright. I think I want to move on to Leadbelcher to get his armor done. But yeah, Silver Scratch, those look good. Welcome to the Discord. I assume you just joined, so I don't remember your name. But hey, welcome to the Discord. Welcome to, since you are in chat, welcome to the Asylum. They picked that name for themselves, so make of that what you will. Good old Leadbelcher goes on one coat. Probably thin down a smidge though. Also, just like side note, because there's the Chaos Primarchs. You're definitely gonna have to post Conrad Kurz, because he is my Chaos main, or the Night Lords are my Chaos main. But I do like me a good Conrad Kurz. Conrad, that's my Votan. Conrad Kurz. Do apologize if I am a bit quiet. Not the loudest shark on the planet, I will admit, and we have had some possible audio issues earlier. Put this up there real quick so I can get, hopefully I can actually see what I'm looking at. because I can't see very well. Because I am simultaneously under too much light and too much shadow. Okay, looks like he's got a little gorget up there, so we'll go ahead and do some lead belcher around his neck. Yeah, I do want to say it's kind of cool, just like for me personally, it's cool seeing how many of you guys actually hop onto this hobby stream, because here at Neuro-Heretical Wargaming, this is very much my baby, right? This is very much me just wanting to be like, hey, like I need to paint. One, I need to paint, and two, like I'm gonna do this anyway, so I might as well stream it, so you guys can hang out and see what's going on, help the channel a little bit. So seeing like 6, 7, 8 of you guys hop on, that's awesome, right? Like I didn't think this would ever get any views. So even just having, you know, single digits of you guys is pretty great. Oh, start with Fulgrim. And you go do the 30k Fulgrim or the new? See, the problem is there's 3 Fulgrim models now, right? You have the 30k like Unawakened or whatever it's called, the regular version of Fulgrim. You have the 30k Awakened, and then now you have the 40k Fulgrim. I'm kind of curious which Fulgrim you mean at this point. The Creed's actually getting done a lot faster than I thought he would. Which is good, I'm not complaining. You can move on, Skin Tone. Also, hello, Beholder. Recently I have a friend who recently started Night Lords. Are they doing it for 40k or 30k? Or both, because that's what I did. It's much easier to justify 30k models if I can also use them in 40k, and vice versa. No, it's, yeah. So I can tell my wife, like, oh no, I'm doing both. You see, by doing this, I can do both. Okay, 40k Fulgrim. I really like the 40k Fulgrim. I feel like that's a little bit of a hot take, but I think he's like yeah, he's all messed up, which yeah, he should be. He's literally been because he's literally been 10,000 years of rock and roll, right? So like, yeah, he's not gonna be a drugs and rock and roll. Like he's not gonna be 100%. It's going to have an effect on him. I definitely said, oh, let's do the skin tones, and I grabbed Flesh Terror Red. Don't get me wrong, it is tempting, but I don't think a red Castellan Creed is what the people want. Actually, what I could have done is I could have done him as like a statue. That could have been interesting, because they could have been a display piece and I could have busted him out to actually play, but we're committed now. You know what, that's fair. I'll freely admit that I'm not the biggest fan of Fulgrim as a character per se. I just think the model looks neat. I kind of like, I didn't hate the Fulgrim book, right? But it was, the Fulgrim book to me personally is a lot. It's just a lot. And it's like, okay, this is, we could have toned this down a little bit, guys. But I don't have anything against it. Okay, I can't tell if that's supposed to be a sash or whatever. We'll just treat it as such though. Oh, that's a stash on, or sash on his belt? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, so that looks like that is supposed to be part of his sword. So I will leave that part. I'll try not to get too much on that part. Oh, okay. I really, honestly, I don't play them very much, but I do really like CSM in 10th edition. The Dark Pact rule is just so much fun, because you can just do some really dumb stuff with it. Like, if you go back and watch our streams where I played my Night Lords, every time it has managed to kill something in Overwatch thanks to Dark Pact. Just because it's like, oh, I have sustained hits. Dark Pact with sustained hits, and then, hey, I'm overwatching, I need to hit on 6s anyway. Oh, cool, I got 2 6s, now I have 4 hits. That's awesome. You combine that with a las cannon or literally anything, and it's like, all right, I'm putting in work now. Do I want to do these bits here in red? I think I do. But one, I think it'll look good because it'll pop really well. And two, I pretty much exclusively use Creed here as a artillery commander. And those that don't know, in the US artillery, they're like branch color is red. They're kind of doing him with a red outline. I think will look really good. Ooh, Angron with 8 Bloodthirst Bodyguard. Oh yeah, it's gonna take a hot minute. That's not that's not gonna be a quick and easy project by any stretch of the imagination. I am not so sure about how this is looking, but we will trust the process and get to the end and see how we feel. Really using a contrast for this probably wasn't the best idea, but I already have it out, and I don't feel like pulling out any of my reds. Plus, we can always go back in and clean it up, so it's not a huge deal or anything. Like I said, I am simultaneously in too much light and no light because of how my camera is set up. I just realized if I'm not careful, he's gonna look very Santa Clausy. that could be a problem. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Also, if you saw this and we're like, oh yeah, I want to see like a great painter. I want to see like someone who, I might see someone who's good at painting at work. I deeply apologize. I am not. I am in fact quite bad. I like to think it's part of my charm. You know, average paint jobs for the average folks. A lot of channels you're gonna get on there and they're gonna do some really great paint jobs. However, this is not one of those channels. We're just the normal peeps. $400 to 500 hours for all 9 models. If you could pull off. Now, do you mean 400 to 500 hours per model or total? I'll be honest with you. If you can paint Angron and 8 Bloodthirsters in 4 hours, tell me your secret. Because, good God, that would be impressive. You know what? He's slowly coming together. He's slowly coming together. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Alright. So, besides, if I do end up hating it, that's what a wash is for, to make everything look better. To hide all the little mistakes. Skeleton Horde, where is Gilliman Flesh? Oh. Gilliman? Huh? It was in here somewhere. Be very careful. Oh, if anyone's wondering, the color I was using, Flesh Tear is red, which is cursed for me. So I will be very careful moving it. Alright, because I am lazy McLazyson, I'm just going to use Gilliman Flesh all over his Halo head. It never ceases to amaze me how just good Gilliman Flesh is. Like, wow. Like, Gilliman Flesh and really all the contrast paints are just magic. Absolute magic. 4 to 5. See, 400, 500 makes a lot more sense. So I do like the visual image of someone trying to paint Angron and 9 Bloodthirsters in 4 hours. I find that deeply hilarious. Also, if you haven't heard our motto before, the stupidity here is in fact a feature. Not a bug. It is a feature. So be prepared for me to be quite dumb. For I am quite dumb, but such is life. Right, got some flesh tones on there. Ooh, Death Card Rhino Proxy. What is the proxy? I would like to know. And somewhere I have a Death Card friend. I don't know if he even watches these, but he's out there and he's occasionally on the channel. I say occasionally, he's actually on fairly regularly, and for some reason, his videos always do the best for us. Oh, that's the part I forgot to do, red. Crap. I'll go back and do it. $1K pin in the process of expanding to $2K for your you said death card, right? Or I meant your death card. I should say. Both, maybe? I don't know. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think sometimes, don't get me wrong, I almost exclusively play 2K because that's like the comfortable level for me. I like playing 2K, but I do feel like we get sometimes as a community a bit lost in 2K, especially when people are just starting. And like, an important thing to remember is that it's a journey, right? Like, you don't start super high. Hey, yeah, we'd love to see it. And if anyone has any full army picks, absolutely feel free to drop those and keep an eye out, because every Sunday we have been trying to do an army of the week. So if we get full army picks, decent chance your army is going to appear on the army of the week for that week. And we can show it off to the hundreds of people that apparently watch our streams. I say hundreds of people. Hundreds of views, but does not translate to 100 people. Alright. I want to do that part. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that part so I can get it done and then paint around it. He's got a tiny little hilt in here that we're going to do in red, because everything around it's going to be green. It's looking very red. The red may have been a mistake, but we can go over it. It's no biggie. Didn't intentionally do it, but with the red armbands, he kind of looks like, I want to say Imperial German World War I had some stuff like that in their uniforms. At least they're like dress officer uniforms. So that'll actually blend him in with my World War I inspired Krieg a little bit. Put that there. Snakebite leather can be next. Wherever that is. Agrax, Gray, Templar, Snakebite leather. I need to do. I already did his boots and stuff, so I just need to do like his scabbards. His scabbard back here, because I didn't see that last time. It's kind of the problem with these old miniatures. It's very much a, what do you call it? They're kind of soft, and it's kind of hard to distinguish some features sometimes, because it all blends in a lot. Which, I mean, these old miniatures absolutely have charm, don't get me wrong. But they do also have their downsides. Not least of which is that he is tiny. Because, like, let's compare him to a Deathcore Kriegsman. Mind you, this one is kneeling. Oop, too high. This one is kneeling, and it is very close to his height. Alright, you have a good night, Silver Scratch. Nice of you to hop in. Nice to see you. Hope to see you more in the Discord. Don't be afraid to be active. Please help us grow. Oh, that looks good. Just saw the Rhino proxy, and I dig it. Oop, there you are. And the back. Let's see. Okay, he is coming together pretty nicely, actually. I was a little concerned, but I'm digging it. Oh, those ears. Those are his ears. Gilliman Flesh, you're up again. Let's go get back in there as far as we can. And if that goes into some of the recesses there and just darkens it, that's kind of okay. Just to kind of make any unpainted areas back there a little less obvious. Yeah, all kind of blending into the dark recess. Oh, it's supposed to have a bell on it too. Interesting. Very interesting. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. It's Death Guard. Of course there's a bell. Like, why wouldn't there be a bell? Like Taco Bell. Why wouldn't it be there? Two things go hand in hand. Alright, you're looking pretty good there, Mr. Creed. Wash my brush off. Go back to Castellan Green, appropriately enough, just to kind of fill in. At this point, I think we've got a good chunk of him done. So it kind of comes down to looking for those spots where paint didn't quite get to and filling those in. And then kind of starting to do a bit of a cleanup, especially around the cloak. It needs it. I need to put some gold down. So I think I'll actually go ahead and grab Retributor Gold and do some work there. Is the music still going? It is. We got quite a while for it. Stops. And if you are enjoying this, and if you're a first-time watcher, do please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. It helps us do this sort of stuff more often. We really do love doing this. This is one of my favorite things. I look forward to it every week. But we do want to make some improvements. I want to get like an actual mic, so it's not literally just a webcam mic. I want to get a slightly better arm eventually for this. But we do also want to do what we can to improve our studio for our battle reports. And we can only do that with your guys' support. Just even leaving a comment, liking, that puts our videos out there. That helps us get to the point where we can kind of start making money off this and start investing in the channel with the channel itself. So, even besides that though, thank you all so much for being here. This is awesome. Like I said before, this is very much my baby. I never expected, absolutely never would have expected to have even single digits of viewers in here. That's awesome to me. That genuinely is awesome. Thank you. Alright, Retributor Gold. I don't think I've used you in a while. There you are. And I'll say, if you are digging this hobby content, just know that I am trying to do it every week, but life does happen, so I can't promise it will be absolutely every week, but I know I am clear for at least the next couple of weeks, and I will do what I can to make sure it happens. Oh God, I gotta see if my blind ass can tell. He has a lot of decorations, as befitting the Lord Castellan of Cadia. Which, side note, talking about the books earlier, I really need to listen to Cadia Stands. I probably would have gotten it this month with my Audible credit, but I got Black Hawk Down instead, so I will be listening to that. But after this, probably next month, Fall of Cadia is absolutely on my list. Retributor Armor is another one of those paints I just genuinely love for how easy it goes on. Like, two thin coats is an absolute like macho, right? You should like, it's definitely something you should do. But with the, I've noticed with Retributor Armor and Lead Belcher, you can kind of ignore it and just go straight for like one nice coat, because it just goes on like butter. Absolute butter. Alright, I was going to do those little wings and the gold as well. I think they're kind of supposed to be one thing without like green in between them for the most part. Do a little braiding here. Okay, that went out pretty good. It'll need some cleanup, of course, but... Oops, sorry. Should probably putting that where you guys can actually see it. Alright, here's Angry Old Castellan Creed. Like how that put on. Now I'm getting a Xeon vibe. Very heavy Xeon vibe. But it's whatever. Alright. Still some gold bits I need to do. But I think we're getting pretty close to where I want to start just throwing on washes. He won't be the prettiest, but that's okay. It's not the world's prettiest model, and I'm not the world's prettiest painter. To quote one of my drill sergeants, his push-ups weren't the prettiest, but neither is he. My favorite chapter of Space Marines. Well, I am a Black Templar main. Like, they are my main guy. I'll hold off on those two actually until I do another layer of Castellan green across them. I do definitely think, I'll be honest with you, I don't know how to make the sword look like it's glowing. When I mean that I am a very average painter, I mean I am a very average painter. I do have, I can show off one thing though I thought looked came out really good. Also, I'm easily distracted, if you hadn't known. But I was actually, this has been my first kind of foray into effects with swords, essentially, on my demons here. And I really like how this one turned out. And this one was based off the fire effect from the GW put on Warhammer Plus that you can probably find around if you're looking for. But otherwise, I'll be honest with you guys, I am just... There you go, Sam's got an idea. I'm a very basic painter. My stuff is very, very straightforward, very simple. Thank you. Like I said, I'm very happy with how that one came out. I'm more happy with how the fire came out on my Infernus Marines, but I don't feel like digging them out of the closet yet. Or right now, I should say. Alright. But anyway, my favorite chapter, I'm probably Black Templars. That's my main. I love playing them. I really like their lore. I get really into, I really like the concept. Not concept. That's not the right word. I like religious armies are inherently like interesting to me personally, which, as I've said before, is ironic because they're the only people that have tried to kill me. I always find them very interesting, so since that's their shtick, I find that really interesting. They're kind of different from other Space Marine chapters, but of the divergent ones, they're also kind of the ones that are the most normal, all things considered. But I do like a few other ones. I do like Dark Ages a fair bit, because like I said, Lionel Johnson is my favorite Primarch. Probably get 2 Starfish paint as well. Yeah, let's do another layer still on green. And that should be getting close to done. I like Lionel Johnson. He's my favorite Primarch, so I kind of like the Dark Angels by extension. I also like the Crimson Fists a lot because I did read Ren's World. That's one of my favorites. I'm assuming when you say chapters, you mean just the Loyalists. I like quite a few chapters, honestly. I do really like the Celestial Lions. That's one I've kind of been working on. Not working on. One that I do want to do, like, essentially an allied detachment of for my Black Templars to run with them. I was going to do, like, Psychers and stuff with them, so if I was playing base Space Marines, I could run Psychers and still could kind of sort of be lower friendly. Emphasis on kind of sort of. I have not painted Lionel Johnson. Yeah, okay. First of all, I haven't painted Lionel Johnson. I really want to. He's on my list. I want to do him in like a Knight Errant, like Leadbelcher style scheme, like all not silver armor, but like steel armor. He's just, because I couldn't run a good chunk of my army with him, I haven't done it quite yet, but he's absolutely on my list. Yeah, the book that Rooster signed, that's Lion Son of the Forest. That is absolutely one of my favorite Warhammer books, like bar none. Like, I think my favorite is probably still Betrayer, just because I really like the fall of the World Eaters and how that all worked. A lot of the characters in that are very memorable. But Lion Son of the Forest is absolutely one of my favorite. And I do love the concept of the Fallen, and especially the Redeemed now that he's back. I really like that. Luft Huron didn't pay his taxes, and he knew what he was doing. All right, Luft Huron is a tax evader. I will let you draw opinions based on that. Finish painting 3 Blade Guard veterans. Want to know what you recommend to paint next? I mean, it's usually best to work on your backlog, right? Like, I know it's kind of the boring answer, but I don't really know what you have, so it's kind of hard to be like, oh, you should tackle this next. But I will say, with my Blade Guard, just from a pure gameplay perspective, I really enjoy running a Judiciary with them, and like putting them in an Impulsor or even like a Drop Pod, and just like throwing them onto an objective and being like, all right, you either have to put a lot more shooting into me than you want, or come and charge me and just play my game. Play this by my rules. Make your decision. I really like doing that. I do wish you could charge out Drop Pod though, because then I would use it with my Sword Brethren a lot. Alright, he's coming together. He's coming together. He's still got some spots where you can see the fine cast. I'm kind of okay with that, to be 100% honest. I need to clean up this real quick though. Should I paint Ultramarines or Thousand Suns? Maybe both. I will say I have kind of been enjoying Ultramarines, and I am a Marine fanboy. Then again, Thousand Suns are technically Marines, but that's beside the point. Beside the point. Beside the point. I mean, of course, whatever inspires joy, go for it. But I do think, since you did ask for advice as a beginner, I would maybe suggest Ultramarines as a beginner, because so that's like the very forgiving thing about Space Marines, right? They are very, very flat. Right, I'm gonna sit and let that dry for a second while that all gets ready. Ultramarines have a lot of flat surfaces, right? I'm gonna zoom out so you can kind of see my answer. Ultramarines have a lot of flat surfaces. That makes them really easy to paint, and that makes it really easy for each layer of paint to go on. So that's a really good way to practice your brush control. Practice getting the consistency of paint right, because it's very obvious. Let me see. Do I have any of my... I have some Templars here. So like, I got my Jump Pack boys here, right? And my Black Templar scheme is very basic. And these guys need some final work, so they're not the best. But, you know, black spray paint covered most of it. And then what isn't covered are these large, like, flat surfaces. And even the kind of metal bits here, you don't have that many details. So it's very easy to get, like, nice flat, like, practice your brush control and your getting the right layers. But then you can contrast that with something like a Chaos Space Marine, who, if you can kind of tell, he has a lot of little greeblies and a lot of like bits and edges. Those are really, really hard. In Thousand Suns, so they aren't like normal Chaos Space Marine like this guy is, they are very, very annoying in that regard. So be advised there. I will say that is also another way to get a lot of good practice in. Though I recommend, at least with my Rider CSM, because I haven't really painted many Thousand Suns except for like one squad, that dry brushing and then filling in after that is honestly kind of the way to go. But I think Thousand Suns players might disagree on that, but they're Thousand Suns players, so I have nothing against Thousand Suns players. That made it sound like I have a lot against them. I really don't, I promise. Hey, if he can get his SO into it, more power to him. I could not get my wife into this game, no matter how hard I tried. I gave up. But that happens. Matte or satin paint? I think general. I pretty much almost exclusively use Citadel, just because they're good paints. If they're a little overpriced, but they are genuinely good paints. So mostly they're kind of more of a matte finish. I tend not to put a varnish over my minis because I'm kind of lazy like that. That's literally just me being lazy, but I tend to prefer a more even finish. I don't really like a high shininess to it. Like, speaking of Thousand Suns, I've seen a lot of people do very shiny Thousand Suns and do that kind of candy apple hot rod red, right? And personally, not the world's biggest fan. I don't know what it is. I don't like it when minis just straight up look like candy. So whenever I see like the candy apple red Thousand Suns, I'm just like, that makes me uncomfortable, and I don't know entirely why. No, I didn't mean to do that, but I didn't want to get too much water in the paint. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like I said, I am not a particularly advanced painter by any stretch of the imagination, and if you came here thinking that I was, thank you. And I'm sorry, because I will lead you astray, I'm sure of it. Mostly because, as I'm looking at these edges, I don't like them. I did them in the red, and I'm not sure I like how they turned out. But I'm kind of committed, and I'm in a bit of a time crunch, so I probably won't fiddle with it. It's kind of coming out okay. I shouldn't be a super harsh critic. It's one thing to remember, as for anyone, whether you're a beginner or not to miniature painting, you're gonna be your own harshest critic, right? Like, don't let yourself get down because something doesn't look either the way you originally imagined it in your mind, or like doesn't look as good as a lot of painters out there. And that's kind of one thing I am hoping a little bit that this channel can kind of push back on, is that it's become such a thing in 4K channels to have these really high quality, practically professionally painted armies on your channel, and I just don't. I mean, I like seeing it, right? But it's also not that's just not how most people paint. You know, that's not necessarily a realistically obtainable goal a lot of the times. A lot of people a lot of them are genuinely professional painters. Like, that's what they do. They do commission painting. And I think a lot of normal people look at that and be like, I can't do that. And they get discouraged. And they follow the hobby. And that's not fair. You know, it's not their fault, obviously. Like, I too enjoy seeing good painted minis, but that shouldn't be the only thing out there, and that should never be. If anyone's gatekeeping like someone's painting skill, they're just a terrible person. Like, if you're gatekeeping someone's paint job, like why? What? How little could you possibly have going on in your life that is something that matters to you? Like, I don't get those kind of people. I have actively unfollowed YouTube channels because they got really gatekeepy over stuff like that. And it's like, no, hard pass. That ain't me. As long as I am here, I will ensure that it is not part of the channel. Also, side note, if anyone has seen the original run of Mobile Suit Gundam, do you get Duchy of Zeon vibes from the back of this paint job? Because I absolutely do every time I look at it right now. And I just want to know if I'm alone or if other people see it too. Alright, I think he's kind of done in a way. Like, I got all the stuff. He's just going to get a quick and dirty wash. He's not going to be super fancy. So I want to do his base so I can cover that with my other stuff. And I'm going to try and get these guys colored up for the most part. Oh, Jinhao, your name is going to vex me. I think I'm saying that. Is it Jinhao? That feels right. I'm not an expert in Chinese at all, so if I'm off a little bit, please let me know. Exactly, right? It's like, you know, it's a cliche, but like practice does make perfect. So just like getting in there, getting the reps in, doing the work, that is so much of what you need. Like, that will take you the vast majority of the way you need to go. I just realized I need to paint a cigar. Rhinoxide. Rhinoxide is probably okay. Is that okay, sir? No, I should use a lighter brown. I don't know where that brown is. Is that it? Mornfang, perfect. But yeah, and like, it just takes practice and just, you know, being realistic with yourself. Like, okay, like, I'm not going to be a master level painter. Most of us, I should say. Some people probably can, but most people are not going to be a master level painter their first few times out. And just like accepting that and being like, okay, well, I'm going to try this technique and improve. And as long as I improve, I'm happy. And if people don't like it, that's their problem, not mine. Like, that's how I approach things in general. And ooh, is this finally going out on me? It might be. I've had this Mornfang brown since I started in the hobby, and that was 5 years ago now. So it might finally be time to replace it. I don't really want to run to the Warhammer store tomorrow, but I will if I have to. I don't think I'll have to, though. Alright, let's put his base in Mornfang brown while I'm at it. Yeah, I can probably do that. That'll be a nice little... because he's going to get a very muddy base. So that will make for a very nice, like, whoop, fresher mud, quote unquote, for the cracks that may or may not appear. Alright, brush that off. Yeah, I'm not even sure I'm familiar with 75 scale metallics. I feel like I might have seen. Oh, thank you for the stream. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you're here. I think I've said it before, and I know I've said it before, but it warms my heart to see you all on the stream, because never thought I would actually even have people on this stream, much less any significant numbers as we've been doing tonight. I say significant for this channel. Let's be realistic here. But thank you guys so much for watching. I am here every Wednesday, at least when I can't be. I do have to work sometimes, but I will be here every Wednesday. And if you're new to the channel, every Sunday we do a Warhammer 40k battle report stream. And then at this point, every other Saturday, we are doing a couple special streams. So right now we're doing a 30k stream at least once a month to build up for, give me a second here, I'm thinking, to build up for the new edition. So we are looking forward to that. So look forward to seeing current second edition and third edition once it comes out on the channel. And then we are also doing what we have titled Side Quest Saturdays. So on Side Quest Saturdays, we play other game systems. Oh, you saw a pop in your stream. Hell yeah, that means YouTube is doing work for us for once. Side Quest Saturdays, we try out different game systems. So our first one, I believe, was actually Horus Heresy, but our next one is going to be Fallout Wasteland Warfare. So look forward to that coming up here soonish. as well as we are wanting to dip our toes into doing non-live stream content, though I cannot announce anything for that quite yet. That is a whole bale of worms we're still kind of uncovering, so I'm not so I won't talk about that too much. Yeah, I'm glad you found the stream, and I'm glad you seem to be enjoying it so far. Alright, I'm gonna do a little corn red, and I'm gonna put a yellow contrast over that, and then I want to tell myself it's good. And yeah, I want to tell myself it's good, and I'm not gonna argue with it. I do gotta know, Sam, was the did the thumbnail catch your eye? I will admit that's not me in it. That's another guy on the channel, Scott. He was trying to balance hinged and unhinged for the thumbnail. So if you like it, let me know and I'll tell him. And if you found it hinged or unhinged, please let me know. Alright, we'll put a little red there. I'm supposed to go ahead and go over it. And then I'll try and go over the yellow contrast and pray it works the way I think it might. Though I doubt it will. Actually, I could do that. Do that, and then some Mephiston, do corn red, then Mephiston red, and then a dot of yellow. The more I say this, the more I know I'm gonna hate doing it. Alright. I am lucky that you've come out, Castellan Creed. I was concerned you were going to be a bit Christmassy, but it worked out. Haha! Yes, the thumbnail worked! YouTube doesn't lie to me. I'm going to put that as a stream. There, let the people's voice be heard. Vox Populi. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, when I'm not doing this and I'm painting, I tend to listen to audiobooks a lot. Like I just finished the 5th Caiaphas Cain book, I think. Duty Calls, I think it's 5th Caiaphas Cain. Side note, probably one of my favorite series in 40k. Absolutely love Caiaphas Cain. Absolutely hilarious. Alright. I think he might be about ready for a wash. I'll set him aside real quick. Actually, going back real quick to the whole satin versus a matte finish sort of thing. I say that, but I do like using the Citadel shade paints. Is that the term? Yeah, they're shade paints, which do tend to give kind of a shinier finish. So maybe I should change what I said on that, but I'm gonna stick to my guns. Yes, unhinged. Yes, win. Scott will be very happy. He'd be like, "Oh yes, I am unhinged." In fact, I think he just messaged on Discord. Let me message him real quick. I did. Okay, he must have at our actual Discord. I want to message him directly. Scott, the chat has declared your thumbnail unhinged. You will enjoy that. What got me into Warhammer 40k? That's actually kind of hard to answer. So I did start playing back in 2020, right? I had gotten out of the army recently that year, and lockdown happened. So I think like a lot of people in 2020 that got into Warhammer, it was just like the perfect opportunity, right? Like I got out of the army, I had some money, I had money to kill, and I had nothing to do. So I was like, and by that point, I had been a fan of Warhammer as a universe for a while, right? Like I remember getting into it in high school. I don't remember what the actual catalyst was. I think the final nail in the coffin that got me into it was Dawn of War 2. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, Dawn of War 2, because I remember playing that in high school. I shouldn't use this brush. Let's wash it off. So I think Dawn of War 2 is like I actually played it and was like, okay, well this, I love this. I had read up on the universe. I started playing that. I was like, oh, I really want to get into the miniatures game. Being a broke high school student, not an option. But as life goes on, opportunities open, and now I own a Warhammer related company technically. So, you know, hey, over time, addictions grow. What got you guys into it? Oh, hey, Matt, nice to see you. Everyone, Venera, this is everyone who hasn't met him. Venera is Matt. Matt has been with the channel for a little bit now. Not with the channel, but like has been following the channel for a little bit now. So if I say hi to Matt, that's who I'm talking to. I'll use the large base. I think I'll use this instead. Alright, time to move on. Ugh. Forgot it. This guy's really... Crap. I broke it. I broke an artillery piece. Don't tell Matt. He'll get me mad. Oh god, he saw it. Gotrek and Felix. I've heard really such good things about that series. I just haven't gotten around to it. I'm not, like, okay, side note. Not the biggest fantasy fan on the planet. Now, okay, like, I enjoy fantasy in general. I'm just not into Warhammer Fantasy for whatever reason. It's always kind of bounced off me. But I've heard such good things about Gotrek and Felix that I need to listen to it eventually, but there's still so many like 40k series I'm not caught up on. So maybe after I finish Commissar Kane and the other Commissar, whose name I forget, Gaunt's Ghost. Once I finish Gaunt's Ghost and Commissar Kane, I might jump into Gotrek and Felix. So didn't one of them die in the end times, but the other one lived, I think? I hope I didn't spoil something for you. Yes, Matt is part of the reason we have a Discord, because he bullied us. Don't let him... He will tell some story on how he didn't bully us, but he bullied us into starting a Discord. And most of this company is made up of nerds, and we got bullied. What role the Black Templars would have fit in? I don't know. I don't know. Servitor. I like the Black Templars, but I would not want to be personally involved with the Black Templars on any great measure. As I said, me and religious armies genuinely have not gotten along in the past. Drop some backstory on you guys. Side note, I call a lot of people in our little company nerd a lot, and as they so cleverly like to remind me, I quote, own part of a Warhammer company. I can't call anyone a nerd, by which I disagree. I can, and they can't stop me. What would my rank and skills be? Well, if I may use real life experience, Matt already knows this, I told him last week, but I was a vehicle commander in the United States Army for a little bit, and an infantryman. In the Army, the infantry runs their own vehicles, so both. So I guess in theory I would probably be, based on actual skills, I would be qualified to be like a Rhino commander. Possibly something like a Razorback or Land Raider or something too. Though the vehicles I operated were much lighter. They were APCs, not true IFVs. I say not true IFVs, not IFVs at all. Well, I guess the new the Cavalry Striker, is that an IFV? It's more heavily armed. I don't know if it transports troops anymore. If it's all firepower or like transport significant number of troops, because the cavalry Bradley can transport like a few guys, but otherwise it's not really meant to have dismounts. It's mostly meant to operate like actually on its own. And side note, also I don't want to go in the Chimera. Chimera is not. Actually, I was a striker, so realistically, I guess I should be in a Tarox. That would be the most accurate thing to what I was in. For a variety of reasons. Oh, Matt, since haven't painted dreadnoughts yet, not on the channel. I do have a few dreadnoughts. Give me a second, I'll show off the one I'm really proud of. For a side note, real quick, for Mr. Artilleryman Matt, I cut off the back piece of this because it was stupid, and I'm sure you would agree with me. I don't know a lot about artillery, but I've seen enough shoot to know you do not want to be behind the breech when the big powder goes the boom boom. I believe that's the technical term. I forget the Salamander exists. I could do something. I could try it. I could be the vehicle commander for a Salamander because I was vehicle commander for RCO and XO at various points in time. Which, side note, given my rank as just a dumb specialist, especially one that was not the most senior specialist in the headquarters platoon, much less the driver section, for some reason, I was in charge of the driver section, and I don't know why, and I'm still moderately upset by that fact. I would suspect that had a significant thing to do with my eventual burnout, but we won't get into that too much. Here, let me get the base colors on this, and I'll pull out. I do have a couple dreadnoughts. Exactly, right? Like, I've seen video, you can find it, of I want to say an Iraqi soldier who walked behind an artillery piece during like an exercise and just gets mollywopped by it. Because, yeah, it is a big boom throwing a very heavy object very, very far. It's going to have some backblast. Let me put it this way. Even if it's infantrymen, right? We train to make sure the backblast area is clear for even just like our rockets. I don't think the Karlik Gustav had one. I think the like AT-4s, Javelins, like we have to physically turn and look or have someone call backblast check for us before we shoot it. And so artillery piece, you're cranking that up to 11. You don't have the blast per se, you're more just the breach has to go somewhere because physics be physicsing. I know the Carl G has it, but I don't think I don't think its backblast was dangerous. The Carl G is very, because I did get a chance to shoot one while I was overseas for familiarization training, because that's what the guys we were attached to used. And I remember the recoil on it. Like, I mean, it's called a recoilless rifle. It's not actually recoilless, but it's very, very light. And I don't think you need as much. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it does have a backblast, but it's not like because like if you're behind an AT-4, you can be like genuinely in trouble, right? I don't know the physics behind it. Okay, I'm just a dumb infantryman, but I do know that I swear it was quote unquote safer. Now, where's that dreadnought? Before you all bully me over at Carl Gustav. Actually, I should probably ask her to say it. I think by the time I got a chance to shoot it, we only got to shoot the flechette. I only got to shoot the flechette rounds, and that one was like even lighter, and that was disappointing because you couldn't actually see the impact. I'm actually still kind of mad about that now that I say it out loud. Anyway, here's one of my dreadnoughts, real quick, since Jen Hao asked. Still gonna that name's gonna mess with me. If I'm saying that wrong, please let me know. I was a language major. So I was an English major, so I care very much about saying words right. Yeah, this is why this one's my favorite. Every time he rolls a 1, he gets 1 purity seal. He rolls a lot of 1s. Yeah, I think it was one of my first dreadnoughts, actually. Time to think of it. Might have been my very first. I don't remember. I want to say I got him with the Black Templar box that dropped in 9th edition, when they actually like dropped the whole thingamabob, like when they actually came out. I could be mistaken on it. Speaking of which, Black Templar should be getting a reveal soon, and I can't wait. Well, you know what, Matt? That's fair. When I say the range I did for the Carl Gustav was very informal, I mean we shot a rocket at a random mountain in Afghanistan, so make of that what you will. Talk about having budget to burn. Did also get to shoot a minigun, a vehicle mounted, like a Humvee mounted minigun. I think it was the same day even. That was fascinating. Okay, I don't know. Like I said, I want to say it's a quote unquote relatively safe, but I could be completely wrong. And this really isn't a hill that I should die on. Also, side note, for whatever reason, when I got out of the Army, I had a javelin certification, which for some reason was on that little piece of paper that tells you like the potential college credits you could get. I don't know why that one particular one was on there, but it was. But anyway, the thing is, I never once went to a javelin class, and so I do not fully understand how I became javelin certified. Like, I did EIB, which is the Expert Infantryman badge. I didn't get it, but I did the training for it. But that was the only time I ever came remotely close to handling a javelin. It might get there someday, Jinhao. It might get there. I won't lie to you. I haven't added any purity seals to them since I got them, or since I painted them. But I really should, just to make it increasingly unhinged. I was only in for a few years. I was I say relatively. That was not that short a time. That's pretty normal for people to do basically one contract and then getting out. I am actually looking at getting back in with the National Guard here where I'm at, but we'll see how that goes. I do have the chance to become an officer if I technically qualify. Like, I have a college degree, so I qualify to apply, but even if I don't do that, I might still just re-enlist. So I want to do some skills training. But that was also 5 years ago, which means I may have to go back to basic training again. Oh. Ah, yes, I did it. I thought, okay. They have the safety precautions on the Gustav. Okay. I will take a quick break because they have safety precautions on the Wikipedia page for some reason. Alright, where am I going to find this? Safe precautions. Oh, that was easy. Non-metallic metal? I don't. I'm sorry. That, like I said, I'm a very basic painter, so that one was very much outside my, what's it called? Wheelhouse, maybe? I never even tried it, so I don't know. I know a couple people that have, but no one that's been on the stream, I don't think, has even attempted it. Well, maybe Bird has, but Bird also does commission painting. Which, side note, I guess I should add, if he's still doing that, I might ask if he wants us to advertise for him on the channel. But that's neither here nor there. See, Carl Gustav. Overpressure blast wave will cause blast and burn related injuries those behind the weapon. It's dangerous to 30 meters. We were definitely close to 30 meters. I guess we were off to the sides, so we were safe, but... Again, I did get domed in the head with a rock while we were over there, so... If I have a TBI, it could be from a combination of factors. There you go. That's Matt. Matt can help you out. I know Matt is in the Discord because he bullied us into making it. So if you want to go on Discord and link up with him, he can probably help walk you through it. I know, Matt, I believe you were talking about doing some videos on your own channel for like painting videos, so he might be the guy you want to check out. But like I said, I don't. I am very much a, you know what, this paint does metals for me, bet, and then I just do that. Like I said, if you're coming here for very I can give you like pretty like beginner, like maybe even intermediate painting advice. I cannot give you advanced tips. I cannot. I am too big of a baby to even attempt more advanced techniques. Join Discord. There should be a link in the description down below. If there's not, let me know. I can just drop it in the chat. But there should be one down below. It better be. I added it there, though I'm not 100% sure if I added it to the correct stream because I'm a dumb and did some dumb things earlier. I guess other people have been able to find it, so it should be down there. Should just be able to click it and it will take you in if you have a Discord. If not, you will presumably have to make one. I don't know, it's been a while since I've had a Discord for a while, not that I've ever been active on it. This is absolutely the most active I've ever been. Yeah, we got a small but slowly growing community of people on the Discord. We do all kinds of things. We'll talk paint, tactics, memes, whatever you like. Oh, you mean like the sheer number? Like, what do you mean? The amount of rounds, like... Oh, okay. That's what you mean now. So I know that Gustav is not unique in that regard, right? I think... And actually, relatively speaking, from what I remember in my training, the Gustav... Maybe that's what I'm remembering, is that it's safer to shoot multiple rounds. Because I think the AT4, you're only supposed to shoot, like, 2, maybe up to 4 rounds in a day. So if you're able to shoot 6 in training, that's not bad. Though we don't. I say all this. Like I said, my training on the Gustav was very informal because we were attached to a unit that used them, so they gave us familiarization. So if we had to use them, we could. I, however, had never had like a formal class in it. So my information could be a bit off or just a bit handled weird. But I remember we had actual training in the AT4, and we didn't shoot the actual AT4. All right, perfect. Glad you're in. Welcome to the Discord. This has been a very Discord good stream. We've gotten multiple people onto the Discord from this stream. I like it. I like how Sweden you can do up to 20 full caliber rounds each day. So that was the other thing. That might be what I was remembering, because it has a lot of very different rounds because of the nature. Because it's literally just like you can load whatever you can load into it, right? So it has like a very wide variety of available ammunition. So like the one I shot was a flechette round, so it shot a lot of little like darts out, which was kind of lame because I couldn't see the impact. And I was like, oh, this is like the one reason I wanted to shoot this thing was to see the impact. Yeah, like everyone else. I was very upset. The first because there were like maybe 9 of us because it was just our squad. And like the first 5 guys were able to shoot like actual Carl Gustav rounds. And then it got to me and they're like, oh, we're out of the HE, so you have to shoot a flechette. And I was like, all right, sure, whatever. Like, shoot at that mountain, and I shot at the mountain. I was like, did I hit it? And he's like, yeah, you did. You just can't see it. I was like, oh, well, I'm very disappointed. Sounds like Call of Duty logic. No, I can see it. I can see it. It's one of those things where it's just like, man. All right. What time is it? It's about 9 o'clock. I'm gonna go to at least 9:30, maybe 10. I can't promise that. I am actually kind of getting to where I was planning to get to. Just so you guys know, I usually try to these streams. My goal is always at least 2 hours. Sometimes a little bit more, but usually no later than 10 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, which is where I'm at. See, that's why they have the rules, though. Because people will find every excuse to do it, and then they have a TBI and can't function normally anymore. I know there was a report put out recently about our chucks, which is what we call mortarmen in the infantry, because they are 11 Charlie, so they are chucks. That them and I think there's a separate report about field artillery. That one feels a bit more obvious, but that they regularly suffer small scale TBIs, which is a traumatic brain injury, over the course of their service. And it has a genuine issue. Or it is a genuine issue, I should say. Ooh, also, get back to you guys real quick. I have informed Scott that you have deemed the thumbnail unhinged. And he said, quote, huzzah, just as intended. I knew it. He would be very excited about that fact. All right. All right. Is that actually green or not? It's a little green. That's unfortunately why you have to have rules like that, because people will try to break them. So you usually have to enforce it, which is why, at least in here we have range safety officers who have to like go around and actively make sure people are following the rules, so it's nothing dumb happens, they don't hurt themselves or others. I believe so. I worked with some of them when I was in headquarters, just because that's where they're attached. So we get kind of like lumped in with them a lot for different things. Though annoyingly, they can never. Anyway, I'm not gonna go into that. But I want to say their truck-mounted ones were 120s, but dismounted, they had I think the smallest one is a 60 millimeter, and the other one was like a not 90. Some weird measurement, I think. I don't know for sure. Like I said, that was not in my wheelhouse. I did familiarization training once and got domed in the head with a rock, so I never did familiarization training with them again. It wasn't their fault, to be clear. It was, I mean, it's kind of their fault. It was indirectly their fault. Long story short, when we were overseas, we had to burn a lot. Like we had to burn all of our trash, right? So we had a burn pit right outside their little outpost, and we would chuck stuff in there and we'd light it on fire. Lo and behold, some of their Wily Pete rounds, their white phosphorus rounds, ended up in the burn pit. And as I'm sure Matt, maybe 98 or is it 89? Is it 80 millimeter? I don't know. I really don't know. I know they had a smaller one they carried and a slightly bigger one they could carry, but they didn't like carrying that one. Anyway, they're, as I'm sure Matt, 81. 80 was close. As I'm sure Matt can confirm, when fire meets explosive go boom, right? And sure enough, it go boom. And while we were doing our familiarization training, stuff that was in the burn pit starts falling from the sky. And lo and behold, I get beamed in the head with a, like, we're sitting there. Stuff is starting to fall around us. And I tell, like, we ask our LT, can we go inside the tent? Because we might get domed by one of these rocks. And he's like, no, let's finish the training, it's fine. Lo and behold, I get beamed in the head with a rock. And then all of a sudden, the lieutenant's like, oh yeah, we should go inside in the tents, or actually, better yet, let's go into the indirect fire bunker so we're safe. And I was like, oh great, I'm glad we came to this conclusion, sir. After I got hit. No, he wasn't bad, it bled a little bit, but I was like, why? Why couldn't we have made this decision before? At least let us get our helmets, like, let's be smart about this. Thank you, sir. Good old LTs. I tell ya. Good old LTs. Alright. I hope you all who came here for the painting aren't too off put by my random stories. I am very much a storyteller. I should probably make sure this is underneath here. Pretty sure if I call it, I will say this. A lot of Chucks know how to work out. A lot of them are very beefy guys. I will say that for them. Like, a lot of infantrymen tend to be more like runners, but Chucks are beefy. Like, of the few guys that I knew that were like competitive weightlifters in the Army, a good chunk of them were Chucks. For whatever reason, not for whatever reason, I know exactly why, because they have to lift heavy things. So at some point in your brain, you're just like, I want to do this forever. Or I like this. So this is how you get through your day. But boop, 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 boop. Okay. Completed models? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I can probably do that. I am just about done with these. Getting everything kind of done I want to get done tonight. I do want to do Castellan Creed before I log off. So let me go ahead and put a bunch of Agrax Earthshade on him. And then I can kind of show off I'll show off some of the stuff I do have done that I'm kind of proud of. So a lot of my stuff is very basic, but some of the stuff I'm rather proud of. The only bombardment, I believe you are new. Nice to see you. Welcome to the channel. I haven't seen you around before. This is our hobby stream. Do it every week. Alright, let me put Agrax Earthshade on him and I'll show off some models. But I do want to say, I am not an especially good painter. I am a very, very basic painter. If you're coming here looking for like, ooh, super awesome, like super awesome paint jobs, you're probably not gonna find it. I'm not that good by any means. Some people on the stream, on this channel, can be that good. I'm not. Ooh, Death Company. I do like Death Company. R.I.P. the old models. I don't mind the new ones personally, but I can see why a lot of Blood Angels fans were not very happy with them. That is, I would argue, quite fair. All right, now we're just gonna bathe. Oh, that's right. I was gonna do this thing. I should do a. You know, I can watch him first, and I'll do a cigar. I totally forgot about a cigar. Yeah, the wings were that. Like I said, I mean, Death Company especially, like, were very basic. I didn't mind how the oh god, what are they even called? Sorry, I am not a Death Company. I am not a Blood Angels player. I am a Black Templar player, and our stuff is pretty simply named. The actual, yeah, the Golden Boys, whatever they're called, something guard, Sanguinary Guard, Sanguinary Guard. Those, yeah, Sanguinary Guard was not a glow up, especially like losing the wing. Like I didn't mind so like to me personally, I didn't care so much about a lot of the detail loss. I didn't think it was that bad, but the loss of just like the wings, especially because that's like super iconic to that unit. The loss of those is kind of was lame. That was not good. I didn't care for that. I mean, overall, I was not. Overall, I was relatively positive with the whole release, to be 100% honest. But that part, I was like, "Oh, I'm with you guys on that one. That's not good. That's very iconic to that unit. So to lose it, it's like, ooh, they gotta. Why? Why would we do that?" Yeah, and just as someone who doesn't play them, just from an outside looking in, it sucks for that to lose something like that because for the rest of us, that was a cool kit bashing opportunity, right? Like, if I remember, as long as I don't forget, I'll go ahead and I'll show you. My jump chaplain is a slight conversion of y'all's chaplain. So losing on that just for the rest of space, as far as rest of Space Marines goes, is just like it sucks for us too because it's a loss of just different, new and different kit bashing materials, and that sucks. And especially sucks because like it really seemed like GW is moving away from the whole like less ornate uh, Primaris Marines. Because like when the Primaris Marines originally dropped, that was part of their stick was that they were less ornate than the new ones or the old ones, right? The idea of there being new guys, their lore, they're standardized much more due to how they came about, blah 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 blah. Yeah, but they have been moving away from that. You can definitely see it in the Stern Guard kit, a lot of the character kits, obviously. But for whatever reason, they went back on it. They went back to it with the Blood Angels. It feels like, which is just kind of like, but why? Why would you do that? Like, why now? All right, Castellan Creed. Can I go through here and avoid some of the pooling I don't like? Though some of it kind of works, but some of it needs to be shifted around. All right. Is it a big pool there? I think so, yeah. I'm fairly happy with that. All right, so we'll let him dry and see if I can remember to knock out a cigar before I call it a night. And put on the paint. Yeah, that's what I kind of mean. It's like, I don't know. I do feel like the Death Company was definitely a downgrade and losing out on the unique. I really don't like that you guys lost your dreadnoughts, personally. Just because, one, unique vehicles in the Divergent chapters is always cool. And then two, I was hoping that Black Templars would end up getting the Chaplain Dreadnought as a unique unit going forward. But now I don't know. Though, Space Wolves didn't lose theirs, which could be due to the backlash to the Blood Angels losing theirs. So hopefully they're going back on that, but we just don't know yet. All right, let that dry real quick. Get out my muddy terrain. Yeah, it's fair. Like I'm a relatively new player too, so like for the most part, I don't spend money on any of the older models, or at least the ones that are like very old. Though outside Creed here, but I just did him because he was cheaper than his daughter. Um, yeah, but yeah, for the most part, I avoid getting the older models necessarily when I can avoid it. But sometimes you almost can't. But everything's getting refreshed. Okay, let's show off. What is a mini I'm proud of? I'll show off some of the breachers I finished up recently. This can be kind of a update for the people that have been around for a couple of streams. I, off stream, finished my Navy breachers here. And for them, I was going with a very high contrast black and white scheme. So if you watched the hobby stream, you would have seen me painting the black parts and some of the other parts. But I finished it up mostly with the guns, in part thanks to, I believe, some people in the Discord kind of helped me decide on the colors here. I did a deep corn red with a Agrax wash to give a nice bit of color that kind of pops, but it doesn't distract from the high contrast black and white that I have going on. You can't quite pick out some of his details, but that's fine. Oh, sweet. Always happy to see more stuff in Discord, and I mentioned earlier, but since you weren't here, I'll mention it again. We do a stream every Sunday, a big like 40K stream every Sunday, and we have been trying to do an Army of the Week. So if you'd like your army to get featured on stream, absolutely post it into, I believe, our work in. Is it? I think it's our Army like show off one is what it's called. Mini and Army show off. If you drop like a pretty full army there, or just like a kill team, we will have a good shot of showing that off on stream. Also, side note, if you're looking at it, Scott just posted the one on the right. If you have read Brandon Sanderson, that model has a few Brando Sando references. Let's see. I got my Krieg here. I'm happy with them. Actually, let me get one of the ones with the plasma gun because he pops really well. Got my Krieg plasma gunner. Oh no, he got a little scratched up. That's my problem with Vallejo paints. He also doesn't have it down there. Oh no, I picked a bad one to show you guys. That's my kind of problem with Vallejo paints. They seem to like rub off exceptionally easy. Like I haven't even played with this guy since I painted him, and he's already coming off. And part of that's just how they dry because they're kind of thin. But it's like that's annoying. As we get to the end, we'll just show off a whole bunch of minis because hey, why not? Because I feel like it, and it's my stream, and no one can stop me. Hey, 14 minis done is still 14 minis done. And for Space Marines, that's not a small chunk of your army. I never feel bad about only having relatively few minis done. It takes time. Like, I've been playing for 5 years. It's taken me that time to get probably 90% of my collection done. And I'm still buying stuff every once in a while, so I'm never fully on top of it. So never feel bad about being like, I don't have that much done. Any mini done is a mini done, right? It can't get undone. Well, it can, but not intentionally. So speaking of Sanguinary Guard, not Sanguinary Guard, but Death Company, this is my Jump Chaplain conversion that I did from a Death Company mini. By conversion, I mean I basically just switched this out. That was about it. It was a very basic conversion. This was relatively early on. I think I got this in 9th edition. I think this was even before the Space Marine Codex came out. So he's very basic, but I really like the Angel Wings. Like I said, I'm miffed about Sanguinary Guard losing those because that was a great kit bashing opportunity for us. Yeah, I think he fits in the Black Templars pretty well. The white was annoying. Real quick thing on my Black Templars, I'll put them on so you can see it. I don't do a pure white because I hate painting pure white. I do an off-white. And this mini is part of the reason why, because it was a pain in the butt. Let's see, then we got this over here. This one I'm very proud of recently. Speaking of Matt, Matt tends to play basically plays the same armies I do, but he paints them better. And this is another mini where he did that. But this is the store anniversary Inquisitor mini. Had to drive a nice little distance to get him because my hometown, not hometown, but where I currently live, did not have a Warhammer store at the time. Ooh, that means zoom in. Zoom out. So we had to drive up somewhere, pre-order it, and then drive back a few months later. And annoyingly, they didn't call us to tell us it was ready. It was like, why? You said you were going to do that. One of my favorite minis, just like in general, is Inquisitor Karamazov here. Just like, I love this mini. It's so full of character. I did, Matt. And as I was saying, you painted better than I did. You did. Every time, Matt. Every time. Anyway, this is my Karamazov. I love this mini. It's genuinely, like, it's an absolute... it just shows how insane the 40k, like, universe is. I love it. And I'm actually really happy how it came out. You can kind of see it here, but I did like a marbling effect that it's the official one that GW put out a video for with Dustin Rhodes back in the day. So I'm really happy. I was really happy with how that turned out. The marbling effect was kind of what made me go over the edge and buy this mini because I wanted to do that for his whole chair. But yeah. Also, this mini drew blood. I sliced underneath my fingernail trying to trim him. So, yeah. Fun fact, fingers bleed a lot. If you ever cut a finger, just know there's going to be a lot of blood. But side note, just because I am a former EMT, technically, even if only for a short time, but that is both a EMT and an infantryman. Remember, step 1 to stop bleeding is to apply pressure. Then apply gauze. And if that's not working, tourniquet. If tourniquet's not working, you better be at the hospital because that's the only thing that's going to help you at that point. Anyway, I promise I don't get too dark very often. At least I'll try to avoid it. Alright. Oh god, I hate how this stuff smells so much. It looks good, but it smells so bad. Ugh. I do this every time. You can ask Matt, he was here last time. I was like, this time it actually smells worse. It didn't smell this bad last time, which is upsetting, honestly. Well, as we do kind of prepare to wind down for the night, if anyone has any more questions, please let me know. I am planning to be back here next week, though I do have some stuff going on that make that a bit questionable, so without going into details. I will probably try to be here next week, but I don't have an exact promise. I do have it scheduled, though, so kind of might be forcing myself a little bit there. So you can catch me there next week. This weekend, we will be back to our normal 40k Sundays. So we will have a 40k game on Sunday. It will be a double army debut with my Imperial Guard, which you were seeing tonight, and Gene Stealer Cults from a friend of the channel who's actually been in the chat before, Tristan. He will be here in town and playing his Gene Stealer Cults on channel. This is drying out, so it's not wanting to stick the way I would want it to. Anyway, what was I trying? Oh yeah, so Gene Stealer Cults versus Imperial Guard. The Gene Stealer Cults will be running Brood Brothers, so it'll be something of a mirror match. It should be interesting seeing how the different armies play with the same data sheet differently. Though, as we all know, the Imperial Guard is the superior tacticals. I'm not entirely sure who's playing it. I think it might end up being me, but I think Scott's also possible. Someone will be playing as the Imperial Guard, I'm sure of that. Minis just to paint for fun. Imperial Knights, which Jinhao. Got to go back to your name. I can say it when I'm reading it. Jinhao. 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 Imperial Knights are just fun. I will say that Imperial Knights are very fun. I do enjoy my Death Corps. I will admit that I don't find them the most fun to paint. Just from like a pure like painting hobby perspective, they're not necessarily my favorite. Just because they are something about, they have a lot of little details, and like you see it on the mini, and you're like, oh, that looks cool. But then like at some point you realize you're expected to paint that, and then you're painting all those little details, and you're like, oh god, this guy's tiny. This is a very small person. Especially going from Space Marines to that hard transition gets me almost every time. I'm so glad I did so much work on his feet because you can't see so much of them. Alright, he's on his little mountain mud. That's probably good enough. Alright, so we'll call that done for the night. So we got one model completely done, and we've got 2 models base coated. And the other one done? For the most part, yeah. So that just means on, because I'll be painting the rest of the week, I won't be live streaming them pretty much. Sorry. Just because. But because I got a few things done that I have to get done for the actual stream this weekend. But Krieg is done. I'm happy with Krieg. Creed. I have been wanting, part of me does want to do a Tau kill team, just because like I really want to paint Tau that are in like an ocean inspired color scheme, because you really don't see that very much, I feel like. So I would really like to do that, but I don't know yet. I haven't decided, and half the times when I get a kill team, I end up starting an army. So that's probably not the best idea from a purely financial perspective. Let's see, what are some other minis I would like to show off before the night ends? Let's see. Since Jinhao asked about Imperial Knights, I'll show off my Imperial Knight a little bit. I do technically have, so let's see, I've got this very big boy who is not glued in the center, so I will not, I will hold him very carefully. I'm gonna have to raise this a smidge. This was one of the earlier ones. I will say Knights are just really fun to paint. It's a lot of like flat surfaces. You can do a lot of fun stuff with them. This one was basically just kind of in my Black Templar scheme, so he's very, very basic, but he was very fun to put together and very fun to paint. I recommend, if you're just wanting a painting project, I think Imperial Knights are the way to go. I do have another one that another one that I've been meaning to paint, just haven't quite gotten around to. Get on there. There we go. Stompy. Then a more recent one I've been very happy with is my Arbites tank. You can see there. Arbites Precinct 8. Arbites in the front. Big Arbites on the back. The Arbites, when they need reinforcement, this is who they call. It is for crowd control. But I'm very happy with how this one turned out. I was unsure of what it would actually look like on a bigger model. Because I do have a kill team of them, so I was like, ooh, I don't know how he's gonna look. But I'm actually very happy with how this one came out. It's been one of my favorite ones recently. And if you've seen the thumbnail for this week's video, you will have seen him on it. Let's see. Oh, well, we're at 9:30, so it's probably about time to call it. But because I have them over here, and I am also happy with these guys, I will show off Helbrecht and Friends. are some of the ones I'm particularly proud of? I really like him. I really like him. So, start of 10th edition, like many a Black Templar player, I discovered Helbrecht with Sword Brethren is really, really good. So I paint Helbrecht is actually from 9th edition because he was also good there. This is my Helbrecht. Really happy with how the gold turned out. He's very shiny. His little thing broke off, and I don't even know where it went anymore. And to be 100% honest with you, I've noticed that with a lot of other people that have a Helbrecht. I think Tabletop Titans, theirs is gone too. So I know I'm not alone in that fact. That piece, that particular piece is very finicky. So thank you. I will say the trick to really just neat lines is just going back to it and just cleaning it up. Sometimes that means going between the two colors sometimes, like a few different times to get it just right. But doing that, it's another good way to get practice with your brush control. Because brush control will help cut down on that. And then just obviously doing that back and forth to get it closer and closer is practice and getting it neater. So the more times you practice fixing it, the better you will get to be doing it the first time. Anyway, to go with Helbrecht, he needed some Sword Brethren. So I decided, well, Helbrecht's personal Sword Brethren got to be having drip too, right? So they wear a bronze armor, so they kind of match Helbrecht, but at the same time, they stand out on their own a little bit. And each one kind of is, I kind of gave each little, because I got a 10-man squad, so each one kind of has his own little theme. He needs to be painted a little bit though. Their theme is kind of based on different styles, marks of power armor. So like this one is supposed to be inspired by thunder armor. So he has an old style visor that's kind of closer to the Mark II. It's just the one that comes with the Black Templar upgrade sprue. He has the old Mark III power pack, from actually before even the updated ones in Horus Heresy. And then he has these third-party, like, crenulated, I'm not sure if that's the term, like overlapping plates that evokes thunder armor. And on this side, it even has the old, like, Legions Imperialis, or Eagle Imperialis. You can kind of see there. I was really happy with how this guy turned out. He's one of my showpieces. He does need some work, like this needs to be shaded. I should probably go over these to the contrast, and he has a little cross there, so I should probably do something there as well. But overall, I'm happy with how he turned out. Another guy in the squad I really liked was this little guy. So this guy's theme is that he has been damaged a lot. As you can see, his face is more machine than man. He even has a robotic arm. And if I could figure out how to get a robotic right arm too, I would have. I have looked at doing like the Tech Marine arm, but then I have to buy a Tech Marine to steal that part from. But I do like him. I will say, if you are getting into, oh yeah, he also has a hand down here, and the lore is that's his actual hand. He wears it around since he lost it. I will say, if you are new to the hobby, that's one way to really level up your minis. Simply, right? Just consider visual storytelling. Just consider, like, what story does my mini tell just by existing? It's like, obviously this guy tells a story of, like, well, he's got a lot of cybernetics, right? So like he got messed up pretty bad. That's an inherent story. Just looking for stuff like that can really help up your mini game without having to worry about upping necessarily. You're not worrying about painting skill, anything like that. That's one thing I definitely recommend. But yeah, that's kind of a few of my minis. Ooh, I gotta bust out one more, just because we're talking about Helbrecht and friends. Also, like many Space Marine players, I learned the Redeemer is quite good, and it pairs very well with Helbrecht and friends. And Helbrecht can't ride in just any normal Redeemer, so he rides in the Golden Boy. This one, I will admit, not necessarily a great paint job. It's pretty much just the gold primer with a few little red and steel bits. I just love seeing this on the field because it is solid gold. It is an eye catcher. Everyone, you can see it immediately. You know what it is. It's a Redeemer. I am happy with this little guy up here. He's got the chainsword. He was actually destined for a Land Raider Spartan that I was starting to build before 10th edition came out, and then it got Legends. So I have since moved him over here to Helbrecht's Ride, and never quite looked back. It even kind of had the... I did try to do some references to older editions of the game. So once upon a time, it's pretty common to put the whatever Hunter Killer missile kind of on the back ramp, so it's like going. If it shows it, there it goes, going like that. So I kind of put that there as a reference to it. I will say, generally, I try to switch where the weapon is in the Land Raiders, because to me it makes no sense that you would have it right in front of the door, because they're coming out of that, especially with a flamethrower. Why would you want that going off where someone's going to dismount? I mean, I do understand that people can dismount from the front, but this one I didn't, just because I got this second hand, and it was already a lot of work to convert it to a Redeemer, because it was actually a Crusader. So I had to cut all this out and basically reattach it, which came out honestly better than I thought it would. But yeah, these are kind of my minis. Nothing fancy, like I said. Ugh, that angle didn't look good at all, so we'll leave it up there. Yeah, nothing too fancy. I think this is a good example of how just even a basic basic scheme, planned and designed well, can come out well. I'm very happy with this, but it's the most dirt simple scheme. It is literally Retributor Gold primer, some Lead Belcher, some Mephiston Red, and then some black, some Abaddon Black, and Rackheart Flesh. It is a dirt simple scheme, but it looks good, and it's very eye-catching on the tabletop. I will say I'm a big vehicle guy in 10th edition. I love how viable vehicles have become. The only bombardment. I recommend if you're playing, I recommend getting it. If you're doing Space Marines, at least getting a Land Raider, because Land Raiders are just fun. Being able to move this thing far across the board, drop 10 dudes, and let them charge into melee is just fun and thematic, and they're good. Right? They are generally good. I did one time play a Grey Knights player, and I feel kind of bad. I feel kind of bad because I bullied him with this, and he ended up buying one that night. Just because they're good, they're solid. I absolutely love Land Raiders. I have multiple at this point. They're both fun, they're both good, fun, and cool looking in 10th edition. So I cannot recommend them more. But yeah. Let's see. Oh, it's 9:40. I should call it a night soon, so I'll leave it up. I'll put it up. We'll do at least 5 more minutes. If anyone has any final questions, I can knock out in those 5 minutes. We can do kind of a rapid round to get through that. Otherwise, I will probably call it a night here soon. A night. You good? Yeah, a night. Anyway. Let's see. Beholder says they're in the process of painting up a Land Raider and 2 Rhinos for their Death Guard. Fun story. Before... Oh, am I frozen? It's still going. There we go. It gets real slow on my OBS screen sometimes, guys. So I apologize. If it's kind of if I have to pause to get my mind about it. I don't even know if it's doing it on your end. If it's doing it on your end, please let me know. But, so funny story about this particular Land Raider and a Death Guard Land Raider. When we were first starting this channel, we were really wanting to do... Our plan was originally to do actual pre-recorded battle reports, right? And so we did a Black Templar versus Death Guard. And you will never see this. Will probably never be released. I'm not even sure we have the recording anymore. But it started an ongoing theme with our in our games, where against all odds, a Land Raider will kill something important in Overwatch. And this was the first victim of that when a Death Guard Land Raider managed to kill this just moving up. It was at full wounds, I think, too. It might have been wounded slightly, but I think it was at full wounds. And he just rolled hot with his overwatches for his last cannons and just destroyed this. And it was all downhill from there. But that's sort of like a running theme, because then after that, I would be running. I also have a Land Raider Spartan for my Night Lords that I just run as a regular Chaos Land Raider. And I killed a bunch of fire dragons in Overwatch one game. If you go back and watch our Night Lords versus Eldari, you'll see that one. And then like a game or two later, we were doing Night Lords versus Kroot. It killed the big, like, not the big Tau flyer, but one of the ones that's actually pretty good. It killed that in Overwatch with its last cannons. So that's just been a running theme. If we like this one and my other Land Raiders have become the bane of the existence of my local play group. And it has become something of a running theme on the channel, and I do love that, like, genuinely. But let that also be a lesson if you're playing Chaos Space Marines. One of you mentioned playing Night Lords. I don't remember exactly who it was. I'm not sure if you're still here. Someone mentioned playing Night Lords. Land Raiders, really good in Overwatch in Chaos Space Marines because they can Dark Pact in Overwatch. And when you Dark Pact sustained hits, any 6 you get, that goes from 1 hit to 2, and all of a sudden you're doing a lot better. You have a much better chance to kill something. But yeah, I think that's mostly the stream tonight. Like I said, where Castellan Creed go? Where did you go? I just had you there. Castellan Creed was the big mini I wanted to get done tonight, and I think he came out pretty well, actually. I will absolutely check them out, Beholder. If you see an anatomically correct heart on a commenter page, that was me. Mostly. I think a couple other people started doing it as well. Yeah, get Castellan Creed done for the live stream. So look forward to seeing him on stream on Sunday. Piloted by somebody. He will be helping these artillery crews to do work, hopefully. Yeah. Wait a couple minutes. Go through and like stuff on Discord real quick. Also, this has just been like a really good like, this is really good for the Discord. I think we've gotten like 3 or 4 more people on it, so I'm glad we pulled it off. So yeah, I knew adding that to the bottom would probably be good for the channel. In theory, that's part of my job here. I say job. I don't get paid for this. We're not making a dime. I can tell you that. So these look really good. Matt, as always, looks really clean. I really like the blue on the Black Templars you got going on there. Are you doing, I guess, the Celestial Lions thing, Matt? I don't know if you're here or not, but that's the kind of vibe I get. I don't know if that's what you're going for or not, but I do. That looks really good. The blue looks really good. You don't see enough. Okay, besides the fact that Ultramarines are like the poster boys, you don't really see enough blue, I would say. I'm a pencil. I assume that is you, Beholder. Oh, I do really like that Land Raider conversion. Or a kit. Proxy right there. I assume that's your Land Raider. I like the heads coming out. Very hydry. Though, like most Death Guard, I'm sure I will not like looking at it once it is painted. Not because it'll be painted bad, just because I don't like looking at Death Guard. I'm not into the gross side of things. Though, those blow drones do look pretty good. Okay, I figured that was you. I'm usually pretty good at putting pieces together, but you never know. I do like those bloat drone proxies, though. Those look really good. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan, strictly speaking, of the of Death Guard models and by extension kind of their proxies, but yeah, I can see that. Only bombardment. I mean, there's some like Crimson Fist have a pretty decent following, and I really like them. If they release a new Pedro Cantor, I will absolutely buy it. The only reason I'm not going to buy the upcoming mini, which the Captain Cintos, that's really close to him, is because there is a rumor that Pedro Cantor is coming. I do really want to paint him. I've been really wanting to do a small diorama that's literally just the cover art for Rogue Trader, like kind of a book nook, right? So it's like, like this wide, give or take, and then it's like going up a hill, and it's just the cover art from Rogue Trader. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. It wouldn't be too expensive because I could just buy the Mark 6 box for $30K and basically get everyone I need. The only problem with that is I do want to do some lighting on it, so it's like a whole nother thing I would have to learn that I don't necessarily want to do quite yet. But yeah. I've set like 2 different times to be like, oh yeah, we'll go to this, and then we'll end the stream. Alright, so this is the final time. 9:50 Mountain Standard Time. 3 minutes. I'm ending the stream. Okay? I'll let you guys know that now. So if you got any final questions, let me know. Put a couple of these guys away. Oh, I just realized he's broken. I don't know where that piece is. I think I've seen it around. Anyway. Yeah. I hope you all had a good night. I now realize I wasn't keeping track of the music, so that probably turned off a while ago. Yep. We'll just have that kind of on again, I guess. No. I cannot stream more, alright? I have to work in the morning, which thankfully is not too early, but I still have to go do that. Matt, you get me at least almost 2 times a week, every week, alright? That's all you get. I'm sorry. That's just what you get. You do also get me on Discord, so take that. Alright, take the W. Just take the W. Thank you, Bombardment. I do hope you enjoy the rest of your night as well. I will probably be asleep. But I do have to help open in the morning, so that'll be fun, but not to be until like 9, but not terrible. I just don't want to stay up too late just because I suck at sleeping. So the more time I give myself to sleep, the better I sleep. As obvious as that probably sounds. But I do want to say genuinely thank you to everyone that stayed throughout this entire thing. The fact that we have multiple concurrent viewers and a very active chat. I love seeing an active chat. I absolutely love seeing an active chat. It's been awesome. Like, it really is. Like, I said it a few times at the beginning of the stream. I probably said it a few times here and there as well. But this stream is my baby. This is very much my project on this channel. I did not think, like, the fact that we even had like people that are sticking and watching the whole thing is incredible to me. I thought it would just be at 0 viewers basically every week for months, right? I did not expect all of this, and that's awesome. I love seeing that. I thank you guys so much for being here, and that means so much to me. But yeah, I do gotta do the final. I do gotta do a couple plugs. I gotta plug some stuff. First of all, like I said, if you like this, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel grow. It helps bring more people into this, so we can have more people join this in little insane asylum we call Neuro-Heretical Wargaming. In addition to that, friendly reminder, we do have our big 40K stream this Sunday. It will be Astra Militarum versus Gene Stealer Cults. The Gene Stealer Cults are also they're running the Brood Brothers attachment, so it'll kind of be a bit of a guard mirror match. I know we're going to have some units that are the same. I think we have a couple Lehman Russes, some Death Quarter Krieg, and we're also looking to do something kind of special for the intro for that one. So be on the lookout for that in 2 weeks' time. So not this weekend, but the next week. We will be having our next side quest Saturday, so we will be featuring Fallout Wasteland Warfare for the first time on the channel, as well as our standard 40K Sunday streams for the Chill Sundays. That's kind of our big news. Be on the lookout. We are looking to try something new for an actual pre-recorded thing here soon, but we are still working on that, so I don't have a timeline on it. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, I will be here next Wednesday at the very least, and probably multiple Wednesdays after that. So like I said before, thank you guys so very much for being here. I hope to see you soon, and if you want to stay up to date with us, be sure to hop on our Discord. We're nerds too. We don't got much else going on. We will be there as well. So you all have a good night, And I'll see you guys hopefully soon on Sunday. And if not, I'll see you next week. Bye. There's no good way to wave at this. It seems weird. Bye.